We are going to review graphing and solving linear equations. In class, we look at 4 different graphs, and I just ask students, what do you notice, what do you wonder about these graphs? We do discuss how the first graph right here, if it's going down from left to right, this has a negative slope. We talk about how slope is rise over run, so you can pick any 2 points and count how many up or down and how many over. So this one has a rise of -1, it's going down 1, and the run is how many over to get to the next point. So here our slope is -1. And we talk about how the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Here the y-intercept is 1. Our next graph right here, it goes up from left to right, so this would be a positive slope right here. This one has a y-intercept of 1, and if we pick any 2 points and count rise over run, the slope is up 2 over 3. This graph is flat, horizontal, and if we pick 2 points and count rise over run, we go up 0 but over 1. So the slope is 0, the y-intercept's 2. So the equation of this graph is y equals 2. And this graph right here, if it's vertical, the slope is undefined. Undefined because it's so steep, just don't know what the slope is. So undefined slope straight up and down, a slope of 0 is flat. In class, we do play a little warm-up game here called polygraph, where we use some of these terms like positive and negative slope and y-intercept. And then we get to kind of the lesson here, which is, can you graph a line, a linear equation, and can you solve a linear equation? So the first one, the y-intercept is the number by itself when y is by itself. So here, when we have y equals 4x minus 5, we're going to start at -5. Make a dot. Our slope is positive 4 over 1. So from our y-intercept, I'm going to go up 4 over 1. Make a dot. I'll do it again. Up 4 over 1. And then you can draw your line for your graph. Arrow at each end because it goes on forever. The next one starts at 6. So we'll start at the origin, 0, 0, go up 6. There's the y-intercept. This time our slope is negative, -2/3. If it's negative, you go down, but you always go to the right. So down 2, right 3. And then when we connect the dots here, we have a line where the y-intercept is 6 and the slope is -2/3. Our next graph, we have y equals x plus 2. The y-intercept is 2. And our slope, if we don't see a number in front of the x, it's an invisible 1. So we're going to go up 1 over 1 in each direction, and then you have your line. For the last graph, the y-intercept is -3. Our slope is positive 2 over 1. So we're going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and then we have our line. The next part of our lesson will review solving linear equations. To solve, you use opposite order of operations. So we have our PEMDAS right here. When you're solving for a variable, we go opposite directions. So in the first one, we have this addition and multiplication. So we're going to get rid of the addition first and then the multiplication. So to get rid of the plus 30, we'll subtract 30 from each side. We'll get -7, x equals 28. And then we'll divide each side by -7, and we'll get x equals -4. You can check your answer by plugging in and seeing if both sides are equal. So in our next one, we have addition and also division, right? The -x divided by 7 is division. So addition and division means we get rid of the addition first, so we'll subtract 29 from each side. So we will get 13 equals -x over 7. And -x over 7 is the same as x over -7. And if we're dividing by a -7, to get rid of dividing, we can multiply. So we're going to multiply each side by -7 to get rid of it on the right-hand side. Cancels on this side. And we get x equals -91. 7 and 8, we have parentheses, so we will use the distributive property where we distribute and multiply. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. And then we have plus 5x minus 1 equals negative 48. Now we'll combine like terms. So here we have our negative 8x and our 5x. Those are both x's. We can combine them. Negative 3x. We can combine our negative 20 and our negative 1 and get negative 21. So there's the combining like terms, and that equals negative 48. And then we solve like the previous two problems. So we'll add 21 to each side. We'll get negative 3x equals negative 27. And then to get rid of the negative 3, we'll divide each side by negative 3. And when we do that, we'll get our answer x equals 9. So in this example, again, we distribute. That was the added extra step, and then combine like terms, and then we'll solve. Let's try one more of those. And then your assignment will be on Delta Math, which again has help videos if you need it, and also shows you correct solutions if you get it wrong. So let's do our last one here. Again, we'll distribute the negative 4. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. So there's the distributing. And then we have that plus 3x minus 1 equals negative 13. We'll combine like terms. So our x's we can put together. Negative 4x plus 3x is negative x. Negative 20 minus 1 is negative 21 equals negative 13. To get rid of a negative 21, we'll add 21 to each side. We get negative x equals 7, and we'll divide each side by negative 1 to get rid of the negative here, and x will equal negative 7. So as mentioned before, your assignment's on Delta Math today. Here are your class codes if you're in my class for 2021. If not, it might have changed. But here are the class codes if you're not in yet. Most of you are already in. So log into Delta Math. It's called Graphing and Solving Linear Equation Review. It's due Monday at 8 a.m.